Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm gonna let this roll in, but I know some of y'all be watching this on the playback and want me to just get at it. Good morning. I am Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, and the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates 89th District, hoping to be the delegate for the 93rd District. Good morning. Good morning. Big deal this morning. I've got a lot of news about the budget, and I'm going to roll right into it. So if you miss it, you're going to have to go on the playback to hear all this good stuff about the budget. And if you're here and you pay taxes in the Commonwealth of Virginia, today is really, really important. Give me 1 second. Um, I'm going to update this, make sure all my streaming is good to go. Yes, here we go. All right, we should be gravy. Um, so let's get into it. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? I hope you're ready because I'm ready. Um, let's let's see why I was just doing this. Just hang in there for me for a second. We're just having something that's going on with the stream over here. All right, let's get to it. All right, the budget deal. Here we go. So yesterday I was in Richmond, and what we did in Richmond was actually we had a whole new bill. A whole new bill. So typically between January and February of this past year, we should have like done a budget that should have helped y'all. You would have known, the schools would have known how much money they were going to get, all these things. We could not come to a deal because there were some fundamental differences on how we spent your tax dollars. Uh, and I'm gonna break. I'm gonna put that into context. One side wanted to give really big tax cuts to corporations. Another side wanted to give your families, y'all, some money, put some money in your pocket, and take care of these schools. You can understand where we're at. On the Democratic side, that's where it was. Schools are fundamentally the foundation of communities. You and your dollars are what keeps this Commonwealth going. So we have a responsibility to you to make sure that you are made whole, especially in this time. So in the budget deal, here are some of the wins. Y'all ready? So the recent bill, it has some very important points to highlight. First off, it doesn't include any tax cuts for big corporations. Hello, hallelujah. Instead, it focuses on investing a lot of money into public education, which is a big deal. Plus, it's making sure the state has enough money saved up for future needs. This is important because we're sitting in a surplus, y'all. The COVID sort of left us. Our last governor left us with a lot of money left over, and so regular people like you and me. There's also some good news as well. The deal will give individual taxpayers this one-time rebate. You guys may have saw that before, where you got that little bit of money back. This time, that one-time rebate is going to be $200 if you're an individual, and for couples who filed their taxes jointly, they will get $400. Right? Here, let me see over here. You're going to get $400 back. I'm just making sure. Let me connect here because big deal here. If you or someone you know is a military retiree, you may have known last year, I kind of threw a fit when I saw the bill on the military retirement abatement or tax reduction, because it was, to me, very elitist, very is very one-sided. There's another perk that the changes in the tax law, the rules for retired military folks will exempt them from some of their pay, which is a beautiful thing. And that's going to gradually happen. That's not going to happen all at once. It's going to gradually happen up to $40,000 by 2025. And so that extra money, if you're a retiree and you start filing your taxes next year, you'll start seeing that next year, and I think up to 20,000 next year, 20 or 30,000 next year, or 20,000 next year, 30,000 in 25 or 40,000 and 25. So 30,000 for it's a gradual step up into that tax abatement. And you'll see the full of that in the spring of 2025. Okay, sounds good. Any questions about, I know some of y'all just joined us over here. So any questions, please don't hesitate. A tax holiday. Also, there's gonna be a tax holiday. It's coming back. The sales tax holiday for you parents who were like, yo, I needed that weekend. It'll be back the third weekend of October, which is October 20th through like the 22nd is when it'll actually return. So keep that in your back pockets, keep that in your head, in your mind, because that is, you should be back in business with the sales tax holiday, which means, again, you're going to save some money when you get out there to shop. All right, let's talk a little bit of politics. Y'all ready for this? Because we got to do this too. This is a whole part of it. I'm going to put this on notice. Some folks wanted to add a rule that would make it harder for women with certain pregnancies, right? Certain pregnancies to get an abortion, right? The tiny percent that have very serious abnormalities, pregnant, they actually try to put an amendment in the budget for that. And every Republican, they actually try to put a rule in that, and that did not make the budget. Remember, I told y'all sometimes we have legislation and we have the budget, which is a bill. We typically take the stance of where you don't legislate through the budget. You make everything go through that whole process. If you're a certified doer that has been to summer school or had that sit down with me, so you understand that committee process, we expect every bill to go through that committee process. And so when people start throwing stuff in the budget, it can be very frustrating. We saw this, I think, the year before last, 2022 session, where we had a bunch of folks that earned sentence credits where they thought they were about to get out because we had legislated, it had made it through the process. And then all of a sudden, the governor put in there that, nah. So when it put in the budget, so made it so that we couldn't let folks go. People's families were expecting them. So that is the dangers when you guys see us talk about legislating through the budget. Why, that's a whole ass problem. Both sides have done it, but it's a whole ass problem. It's a whole problem, especially when we have a committee process. So they wanted to do that make sure that there would be no funding, no Medicaid, no funding for abortions that needed to happen for very serious pregnancies with problems. It didn't make it. So again, the right to get an abortion, the right to fundamental reproductive care is there for all women, not just for those with a whole lot of monies in the budget. There's also, like I said, a huge amount of money in the budget. If you just joined us, we're talking about this budget that we just approved yesterday. There's a huge amount of money going to schools, over $90 million. You hear me? $90 billion. And that's a lot of cash. It's about 90% of what the Democrats asked for, about 90% of the money that we asked for. They wanted 1.02 billion, but the governor and Republicans got much less. They wanted for other things. But here's a little bit of a twist. Every last duly elected Republican voted for a budget that would have given big tax cuts, given really big tax cuts to big corporations. And this is different from what our final budget did. So I said that earlier. I just want to stress that, like, it ain't happening. And I will tell you, much of that probably has to do with the fact that this is an election year. Shout out to September 22nd. Because it's going down. That's the first day to vote. The last day to vote is November 7th. If you want to come work with us on November 7th, holla at your girl. Let's do it. And now let's talk about why all of that matters. So why does it matter that we have these fundamental differences and y'all been waiting on us and schools have been waiting on us for this money? This matters because for the Democratic Party, the budget is a victory, essentially. Knowing that for you all that have been on this journey with me, you know that we are in the minority. We do not have as many asses in seats as the other side. We don't have as many butts in seats. And so overall, right, the budget is a victory. We stuck to the goals. We made sure that Virginia families came first, not the big companies, and also push Republicans to focus on these priorities. And that is really it, is making it not profitable to do wrong by people. And that's how I feel about sometimes discrimination, right? Like discrimination is great until it's not profitable, right? Not, effing around with families and not giving them what they need. It's great until it's not profitable, until it's not profitable. And so we put them in a position, especially during this election cycle, where it is historic. And I need y'all to tell all your people they got to get out and vote in September 22nd. They have to get out and vote, because that pressure to center people like us, right? Working families. I don't care what your family, your family could be you and your daggum dog, right? Right. But we force them to prioritize that, and we stop them from giving those tax breaks, really, who already don't pay to companies that already don't pay their taxes. Let's keep it all the way funky, and helped regular folks like our veterans. I told you, like, I'm gonna toot my horn. Like, it was really one of the most nerve-wracking things that I did was vote against that veterans bill. I really thought that fundamentally, I thought that it was right. The right thing to do was to say, no, this is not how we do business. We do not claim that some veterans are better than others. We do not. If we're going to keep veterans here, then we freaking do it. We don't be ageist in our policy. And so we worked really hard. We believed in investing in public schools, but there's a different view on the other side, and that's real. And that will play out in this next set of elections. They haven't even given money. They haven't been giving money to schools. They have been more focused on this different agenda that, again, is not fundamentally in line with taking care of people like you. I just have to say that. There was a study earlier this year that showed our local schools don't get enough money, right? And it is really hurting students. And if it's hurting students, it's hurting families. And it's a shame that we're in a place where many folks that don't play for the same team would rather let our schools fall apart than invest in education. That is really kind of in the conversations I've had. So I'm looking at some of our Republican counterparts. I'm like, so you want this, you want to burn this up at the expense of many of the children in the Commonwealth. We're not burning stuff up. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're going to make the investment. That $1 billion, we fought against it. It's important that know that our values here, it is really important that between public education, healthcare, and affordable housing, that we keep funds like that. We got to do better. We're not doing great. We historically have not done great, and there's space to grow. And with this next iteration, which will be the almost the changing of the guard in the state legislature, which is really important to your life and livelihood. And I don't think people understand enough, because we're in a Dillon rule state, how important the state legislature is. The bottom line is that when it all boils down, there are people like myself, right? People like you who want to help families, especially our kids and the populations that contribute to our well-being. It's your tax dollars that we're over here fumbling with, right? I don't want to fumble the ball. I want to make sure that you get it and that you get some sort of touchdown, especially in these times where it is just nuck and futz. I know. Like, how did I only got one bag of groceries, and it's like $40-50 one bag. Like, how is that? But the bottom line is, again, we're working to put money in your pockets, and that is true. Taking care of your health, dealing with climate issues. In the end, the budget cuts put, again, Virginia families first, and hopefully we'll secure a better future without risking financial problems down the road. That's where we're at, y'all. That's where we're at. That's where we be. It's a really great opportunity for us to be engaged. This is something I need y'all to take and walk forward, right? We got to walk this forward with our people. Get them to the daggum polls. Get them to the polls. Get them to the polls. Day one, right? Day one, we have to get there. So I'm hoping that as we continue to try to work collectively for you all, when it's all said and done, this budget, it does put Virginia families first. It secures a better future, and it makes sure that we down the road will have opportunities to do and be great. Okay. Sound good? Sound good? Sound good? Sound good? If you have any questions, comments, go ahead and throw them in the chat. I'll either get them now or later. It's all helpful. I guess I will. And then this weekend is a pretty stacked weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys out there. I didn't know if I wanted to say this publicly, but I will say it. If you have not, the community event that's happening on the 10th, I'm gonna be there. You should be there. I'm gonna actually play my trumpet. Okay, I'm saying it out loud because I feel like I need to say that because you need a formal invitation. Be there. Be there. All right. Until next week, next time, all the things, be well. I hope to catch you guys on the flip side. Make it a great day. Certified doers, please connect with us. If we can be of service to you, just go to the website under contact, delegatejackieglass.com. We will always, always, always do our best. And until next time, I'm Jackie Glass, mama, Navy vet, certified doer just like you, and the Laystone legislator for the House of Delegates, 89th District. Vote, 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 vote. See ya. Be well.